Let's start with today's topic, management concept and its function. The topics we are going to cover today are process planning, that is strategic planning cycle, tactical planning, operational planning, contingency planning. 7 steps of a planning process. The first one is understand the need for a strategic plan. The first and perhaps most important step of the planning process is understanding that there is a need for a plan. In terms of management, this means that you need to be aware of the industry environment in which the business operates so that you can identify opportunities for development. You must also be aware of the business internal operations so that you will know when there is a problem that needs to be solved. The second one is set goals. Setting goals is the second step of the strategic planning process. Goals can be set for both individual departments and for the business as a whole, depending on the purpose. Continuing the example of using government bids, a company-wide goal could be to secure the bid. Meanwhile, a department goal would be to improve specific performance metrics such as sales or customer satisfaction. The third one is develop assumptions or premises. When you make a plan for your business, it should be done with the future in mind. Of course, the future is unpredictable, which means your plan will need to be based on certain assumptions or premises. The fourth one is research different ways to achieve objectives. There are usually several different ways to achieve a goal. You will need to take the time to research various ways your team could work toward completing a set objective. Researching different solutions for completing a goal is important because it gives managers some flexibility when they are directing their teams. The fifth one is choose your plan of action. Once you have set your objectives, developed your premises, and identified or evaluated different solutions for completing your goals, you can then decide which course of action to take. Ideally, the strategic plan that you choose is the one that will be most profitable. Develop a supporting plan. Once you know which plan you are going to implement, you may also need to develop a secondary plan to help you institute the primary plan. Secondary plans will vary depending on your objectives, so you should keep your goals in mind while developing this additional plan. The seventh one is implement the strategic plan. The final step of the strategic planning process is implementing the program. In some cases, this can be the first most involved step in the planning process depending on the objectives you have set. When it comes time to implement a plan, managers draw on their skill sets and experiences to make sure everything runs smoothly. Strategic planning cycle. This is a strategic planning cycle in which goals, desired outcomes, strategies, measures, and targets and results are included. The goals are set, which leads to desired outcomes, where the question, where do we want to go, is created. The second step is desired outcomes to strategies. The question to be asked here is, how do we get there? The third step, strategies to measure and targets. The question asked here is, how do we measure success? The fourth step, measures and targets to result is, how do we do it? The result and the goals. The final question to be asked is, how can we improve? Tactical planning. This is a diagram that shows technical planning. In this, there are three parts, that is assess organization's information requirements. The second one is assemble master development plan. And the third one is develop resource allocation plan. So in this, we'll talk about operational planning. Operational plans translate the tactical plans into specific goals and actions for small units of the organization. They typically focus on the short term usually 12 months or less. So now we'll talk about contingency planning. Development of likely disaster scenarios based on risk analysis with estimates of number of affected people and types of impact. Capacity mapping of the government and humanitarian agencies, identification of role and responsibilities for components of emergency response, establishment of multi-sectoral and sectoral coordination mechanism, responses matrices prepared by all sectors, preparedness actions such as developing uniform assessment instructions, supplying stockpiling and long-term agreements, disaster management training. Thank you.